Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Tom Wilson Racing YouTube channel. It's been quite a while, I know. Life has crept up on us a little bit with two young ones in the house, illness, and so on, so on. I have posted a few selections on X recently, so it's always worth giving me a phone there in case I can't get the video up. That's at Racing TJW. But we're back for the big one, the Cheltenham Festival, and here I am with a quick run through my selections from day one of the Cheltenham Festival. I'm not going to take too much time. There's plenty of content out there for you to go and look at. What I'm looking at doing is I'm looking at giving you a quick short snap into what I'm thinking ahead of the first day. So we're going to do what we normally do and go through the card. Starting, of course, with the Supreme Novices Hurdle. This race really was all revolving around where Ballyburn would go. Obviously, it's going to the Gallagher's on the second day of the festival now, which really, really does open up this race. You can see I've gone through, I've X'd off a lot of horses that, for one reason or another, I'm not that interested in, and it's left me with Mystical Power is the way that I'm going to play it. Mark Walsh taking the ride for William Mullins. I was really, really impressed with the way that he speeded up and pushed away in the Moscow Flyer last time out. I know his jumping will need to improve, but I think if you look at Mullins' novices as a whole, they do get better with run on run. Mystical Power, as I say, he really, really pushed away in that Moscow flight. I was really impressed with that. I saw Johnny Deneen, I think it was, saying, "No, you don't have your best horses running in the summer." Well, Marie National came here and won last year. Obviously, different connections, but he'd been running in the summer, so I'm not too concerned about that. He's shown his ability on soft ground. Everyone's been going on about how he should have been stepping up and being out of Annie Power and Galileo. He'd have got the trip. Well, I think the fact that he stays potentially further than this trip will be a benefiting factor. If you look back at some of the previous winners, Shishkin is one that jumps off the page straight away to me, stays a lot further than what he needs to. Appreciate even he stays further than the 2 miles trip. So I think Mystical Power is a really good way to get punters off to a good start in the first. 7-2 currently. We'll have a little bit of that with a point win there. Moving on to the Arkle. Narrow this down to two, as you can see. Everything in my will is telling me to go away from Gaelic Warrior, but he's fitted with the first time Hood. Now, everyone's quick to grab him going left-handed. There's no denying that he jumps right-handed. Of that, we can't get away from the fact. But I'll just have a quick run through his left-handed form, actually. Up until you see it behind Fats File at Leopardstown last time out, his form wasn't that bad, really. He was second, beating a short head here at Cheltenham in the 2022 running of the Boodles. He won a handicap at Leopardstown, and then he was second in the Ballymore here last year behind Impere Pass. It's not bad form for left-handed, really, when you look at it. Perhaps the first time Hood could help him with his jumping, I'm not too sure. But what I would say is this is quite a substandard Arkle. It really is now that Marine National's come out. Even with the inclusion of Marine National, I don't know how good it was actually, to be fair. I just wonder if his natural ability could be enough to win this. He obviously is a Grade 1 winner over the fences already, having won the Faheen Novices Chase. Again, he's another horse that stays further than this 2 mile trip, which could be a benefiting factor. Yeah, his ISRPR achieved over fences so far is 160, which would put him ahead of the majority of this field. I do think, although I'll be playing him on the win at 5-2, Elite Tom, you can get 11-2, 4 places with Sky Bet each way. I think that's an absolute steal, is that bet? Absolute steal. He's coming here off the back of winning the Irish Arkle. He came second behind Gaelic Warrior over a trip potentially further than his best, and he won on his chase debut. He has come to Cheltenham twice and been beaten twice, but I just think at 11-2, that's a fair bet. Moving on to the ultimate, 7 places here with Sky bet. I've backed Shanty Classico early on, but the price has very much disappeared now. So I would be looking at a little bit of the bigger prices. You can see, I've crossed a few off here now. The one that I've come down on, I've got two places this with the 7 places. Twig. You can get 20 to 1 each way about Twig. This is basically on the fact that he underperformed in the Newbury Gold Cup, Coral Gold Cup, should I say, back in December. But he hasn't been seen since then, potentially suggesting something was amiss. He's got some decent form at Cheltenham already in the book. He's finished second on all three of his score starts here. He finished second behind Waka Clan in October, second behind the Friday Man here in April, and second behind Shearer of the hurdles when he was a novice. I don't think that's bad form if you look at it. He's 4 from 7 over fences. Ben Pauling Stable are coming into this festival with decent form. They've got 18% strike rate. I think you can do a lot worse than 20 to 1 with 7 places there. The other one is Monbeg Genius. I'm not enamoured by the prep. The John Joe O'Neill team were quite vocal on saying that he was going to Kelso on to Ain't trip, but he really underperformed at Kelso over the trip, probably potentially far shorter than his work best. Now he's coming here. He isn't screaming out to me he's a great prep run, but what I'm looking back at is he finished third in the Coral Gold Cup. He also finished third in this race last year, which is potentially the strongest renewal of this race. When you look at Korak Rambler and Fast or Slower in front of him, the O'Neill stable form ain't great, but 12 to 1, 11 to 1 even with the 7 places. I don't think it's a bad bet. My main player there would be Twig at the bigger price of the two. Nothing really to add here in the champion hurdle. We're going to miss that out. Moving on to the mares hurdle. Right then. So the way I'm going to play this is Galadam Marceau. We're going to play her each way at 22 to 1. The third last time out was well below her best. Of that, there is no denying. She was well beaten at Punchestown going right-handed. I think she's a better horse going left-handed. If you look at it, she was third beaten 4 lengths behind Ashrow Diamond at Doncaster and conceding weight to both Ashrow Diamond and Under Control that day. I don't think that was a bad run coming there off the back of quite a lengthy break. She's already a Grade 1 winner over 2 mile 3 furlongs. Whereas we're not too convinced about whether or not Lossy Mouth will stay the trip. I think she will, but if you're taking a 7 to 10 chance, you want absolutely no qualms about that. We know Galamasso is going to stay out the trip, and I think that she's well within each way play at 22 to 1, or 25's there even. So I'd be recommending her each way. The Boodles, same colours, same ownership, same stable. Miss Manzor each way at 18 to 1 here. We'll have a quick look because I know Sky Bet are playing quite a few places on this. Let's see what we can get there. You can get 6 places, 16 to 1. That seems pretty standard, 16 to 1 with the 6 places. She comes here after beating Kaya de Bays last time out at Fairy House. If you look back, she was beaten only 8 lengths when finishing 7 of 12 runners behind Carla Conte at Leopardstown in Grade 2 Company on St Stephen's Day. I quite like the booking of Danny Mullins here, to be honest with you. He's got a 22% strike rate coming into the festival. Mullins' horses, probably should have mentioned this earlier on, they're running to a 41% strike rate. I just think she's worth a play each way there. Mullins hasn't got the best of records in the Poodles, it is worth noting, but I just think she's worth a play there. Now we move on to the National Hunt Chase for the final selection of the day. Salvador Ziggy, a point win, 6 to 1. I'm not convinced by Corbett's Cross or Embassy Gardens in the slightest, and I think Salvador Ziggy, ignore that running the Medicaid. Put a line through that. Been given a long break since then, as Galvin was with same connections, the Gordon Elliott stable coming into this. I wouldn't be worried about that. I really wouldn't. Gordon Elliott target this race. We know what he's like when he targets a race. You look at his second in the Kerry Nationals. That, for me, is the strongest piece of form in this race by far. I just think he's got everything that'll be taken here. He's a lot more of a consistent jumper than both Embassigard and Corbett Cross. I think he'll just plod along, get into there into a nice rhythm, and I think he'll just have enough to win. So they are my selection for the opening day of the Cheltenham Festival. I'll be back tomorrow evening with a recap of how we've got on, maybe a little bit of a look at the profit and loss. I need to update it for the last couple of months as well. I've really fallen behind with that. One thing that I'm going to make a conscious effort to do after we get out of the festival is to get up to date with that. I know there's probably quite a few first time watchers of this, given it's the festival. If you like what you see or you think I disagree with you there, Tom, please let me know what you're thinking in the comments. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's a massive boost for me, really starting out with YouTube. So yeah, I'd be grateful for all your support. Cheers.